this is Maisie on Maisie's Kitchen. Today with you I'm going to be making a carrot cake from Bobette and Belle, the cookbook. I'm making a no raisin carrot cake because lots of people don't like raisins. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the flour that we have. So right here we have 2 2/3 cup flour. So we're just going to put that in this bowl here. Flour in the bowl along with the baking powder. So right here we have 5 rounded teaspoons of baking powder. And then we have the salt. So we have just under 1 teaspoon of salt. Right in there. And then we're going to take our cloves and nutmeg. So I personally love cloves. So I put in a whole bunch of cloves. So I put in like a full teaspoon of cloves and a full teaspoon of nutmeg. And we're just going to put that in there. And then we're going to whisk it up. And then you can see that this is kind of like looks grayish, like a pancake batter, but not really. It's kind of fun. So we're just going to whisk that up until it's all combined. You can do this with a whisk or you can do it with a fork. Personally, I like doing it with a fork, but that's just my preference. So as it says here, we're going to take the flour, baking powder, and salt, and cinnamon, and cloves, and nutmeg. And then in a bowl of our stand mixer, filled with the paddle attachment, right here I have the paddle attachment. It's an easy way to mix things. You can use the whisk attachment, but then it's going to be more, I don't know, emulsified, but we don't really necessarily want that. So we're going to put the oil in. So right here we have 2 cups of, I use grapeseed oil. They recommend vegetable oil, but I personally like grapeseed oil. So we have 2 cups of grapeseed oil, and we're just going to put that in there. And then we're going to add the 2 2/3 cups sugar. So that's a lot of sugar, I get that, but yeah, we're just going to add the 2 2/3 cups of sugar right in there. So we've added the oil and we've added the sugar. So we're just going to mix that on medium speed until well combined. Because we don't want any like lumps of oil, you understand? So we just have it all nicely emulsified. It's all mixed in. So we're going to show you over here. So that's kind of what it looks like. It's nice and it's mixed up. So now we're going to add the eggs. So we have 5 eggs. It's a lot of eggs, I understand. So we're going to add the eggs one at a time. So yeah, the eggs, because when they react with the oil, they get all smooth. So it's important to add them one at a time and not just all at once. So we're going to turn the mixer on low speed, and then we're going to put the eggs in one at a time. So I'm using duck eggs because I live on a farm, so I use duck eggs. But you can use chicken eggs or, yeah, but I'm using duck eggs, so let's see. So I just turned the speed up a little bit to make it mix faster. So we're just going to continue adding the eggs one at a time until they're all mixed in. So I'm using a stand mixer, but you could also do it with like a whisk in a bowl. So I just have 2 more eggs to add. Egg is going in now. So we've got our eggs, and this is just beating up. So now it's a light yellow color. good. It kind of looks like a hollandaise sauce, but not really. So I'm just going to show you it now after the eggs are added. So you can see that it's more of like a kind of yellowy texture. So now we are going to scrape down the sides of the bowl just to make sure there's no little pieces of egg. So I got my spatula here. I love this spatula. It's really cute, and it has all these great conversions on the back. It's my favorite spatula. So I'm just going to scrape down the sides of my bowl, just like this. Just like that. And then I'm just going to beat it again for a couple minutes. Or not minutes, just a couple seconds. So that looks pretty good to me. So now, looking at the recipe, well, the mixture is on low speed. We're going to add the flour in 3 additions. Then mixing after each addition until it's well combined. So you can just pour it in, but I like to use your measuring cup because then you don't get flour everywhere and it's just much neater. So yeah, we're going to add these. So we're going to put the mixture on low speed, just like this. And then we're going to add just a little bit of flour. And then we're going to wait for it to mix in. Here, I'll bring you closer so you can see. So see, it's like getting thicker. So I'm just going to add another 1/4 cup-ish. And I just do this for a while until it's well combined. Yeah, so now I'm going to take the bowl out of the stand mixer and put it here. So I've got my dough here, my batter. It's a nice this is a ribbon stage. It's nice, it's a good dough. So I'm just going to take my fingers, I just washed them, and then I'm just going to take all the dough off because we don't want to waste any dough. So we're just going to take all this dough off of here. You can lick a little bit off your fingers though. That's what I like to do. Oh, that's good. So now I'm just going to wash my hands again to ensure that they're really clean. And then I'm going to add the carrots. And I'm going to fold in the carrots so then the dough doesn't get over mixed. So we're just going to make sure we get all those carrots in there. And then we're going to take our handy dandy spatula. And we're just going to fold. So from the bottom over to the top and then over in the middle. So bottom over top. So you can see here, it's nice and folded. So we're just going to keep folding it. Yeah, so that's 4 cups of carrots I added, which is actually quite a bit. So this cake is practically healthy. Practically. So I'm just going to keep folding this until it's well combined. So that's pretty good combined now. So it's, yeah, all the carrots are evenly dispersed within the cake. So here, I'll just let you have a look. See, it's nicely, there's lots of carrots in there. And then you can see here that it's a good texture, but it doesn't have that nice ribbon stage anymore. So, now, I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees. So I'm just gonna put these into pans now. Hey, so I'm back. So we're gonna just grease the pans so we can put the cake batter in and then get it in the oven. So here I've got some Pam canola oil cooking spray. So I'm just gonna grease the pans just like that. And then I'm going to take my flour here. I have a little bit of flour, and I'm just gonna put that in the pan. And then I'm gonna go around the pan like this, tapping it to get the whole pan covered in oil. So that, because you don't want the cake to stick to the pan, because then you can't get it out and you can't decorate it. Yeah, it's terrible. So yeah, we're just gonna go around with the flour, and then we're gonna tap it. So if there's any like chunks of flour still stuck on it, they can come off. And then I just cut out these parchment paper circles right here. So they're just circles of parchment paper that fit the bottom. So then when you take the cake out, because you can't get a knife to the bottom, so when you take out the cake out, then it just falls with the parchment paper. So yeah. So we're just gonna keep doing that. We're gonna go around the pans, getting the flour, making sure it's all good, all covered, because you don't want any little bits where it's gonna stick, because it ruins the shape of the cake. Because you see there's little chunks of flour, like right here. So that's why you tap it, and then they fall to the bottom. So we're just gonna go on the last cake here, and just keep alternating it, just like this. So then I'll just pour the flour back into the bowl that it came out of, and then I'll just throw it over there, just like that. So all my pans are floured and greased. So I'm just gonna put the parchment paper circles in. So they might curl up a little bit on the edges, but don't worry about it, because when you put your cake batter in, then it'll hold it down. So I've got my cake batter here, or carrot cake batter. So I'm gonna divide it evenly between the 3 pans. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in there, and then I'm gonna put a little bit in here, and then I'm gonna put a little bit in here. Evenish. I'm just gonna scrape out the bottom because I don't want to waste any cake batter because it's so good. So I'm just gonna divide this evenly. So I've got my cake in my pans. I'm just gonna wash my hands because I've got a little bit of cake batter on them. So my oven is preheated to 350 degrees. So I'm just gonna take the cakes and I'm gonna put them in the oven. Just like this, one at a time. And it's important to open and close the oven really quickly so then you don't lose your heat. Because if you lose your heat, then the cakes won't rise as fast, and then they'll fall in the middle, and then you don't get a good cake. So yeah, I'll see you in 45 minutes. Hey, so we're gonna make a 7-minute frosting. It's typical, it's delicious, it's amazing. It's like a fluffy meringue frosting. So we're gonna make that, and it's gonna be good. Hey, I'm back. So, I've got the water on the heat. So we're gonna be making the frosting right now. I'm gonna be making the frosting for our carrot cake now. They're out of the oven, they look beautiful. They're cooked, they're cooled, they're all ready to go. So I'm going to do the frosting now. Oh geez. So I have some boiling water here. So I measured out 6 egg whites. I separated 6 egg whites from the full egg. So I put the egg yolks in a different bowl. So I'm just going to put that over top of here. I'm going to turn this down. So I'm just going to start whisking this. And then I'm going to add the sugar. I have 1.5 cups of sugar. I'm just going to add this to the egg whites. This is over heat. So I'm just going to add that to there. And then I'm just going to mix this for a second. Get it all mixed together. So while this is being mixed, it's going to heat up. And then, so what we're having is the sugar is going to be dissolved. And then I have here, this is 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. So I'm just going to put this in, just like that. I'll just get that out, just like that. Okay, I have my corn syrup. I'm just going to stir that. And then I'm going to add 1/4 cup of water. It doesn't matter what temperature your water is. I use like room temperature water. So then I'm just going to stir this. And then here I have a candy thermometer. So the candy thermometer, I have this little red thing. It's set to 160 degrees. So that's what temperature I want this to get to. So because this is a meringue frosting, I'm going to have it heating up. Yeah, it's already at like 110 degrees, so yeah. So I'm going to have this heating up, and then I'm going to put it in my stand mixer, and then I'm going to beat it until it's light and fluffy, and then that's going to be our frosting for our cake. So I'm just stirring this. So you can see already that it's getting clearer, like right here. It's getting clearer because the sugar is starting to dissolve. Gonna put that thermometer back in. So it's like at 115 degrees. So we're just gonna keep stirring this. Hey, so it's at 150 degrees, so we only have 10 more degrees to go. So we're just gonna keep doing this. So you can see here now that it's kind of getting, like, you can see in between it, like the grains of sugar, you can see in between them. So I don't know what that means. So if you don't have a candy thermometer, what they say in the cookbook is until it's really hot to the touch. But if you do have a thermometer, it's way better to use a thermometer because then you can just be super accurate. So on my mixer, I have fitted with a whisk attachment, and that's what we're going to use. Oh, okay, that's 160. That doesn't look dissolved though. Are you off? So I'm just going to carry this over here, and then that's just going to go right into here, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to put my mixer up, and then turn it on high. And it's almost whipped, but not quite. So we're just gonna whip it for a little longer. Look at this. So it's super glossy. You can see here. I'm gonna stick like it's like a soft peak, like a softish. Yeah, it's still pretty soft. But so I'm just gonna wipe this off, and then I have prepared here 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm just going to add this vanilla in, like that, and then I'm just going to turn it on high again. Hey, so I'm back. We're about to turn off the mixer. So frosting is ready. So I'm just going to take this down, take a touch. So this frosting sets up so quickly. Like it's like a pretty stiff peak. No, it's actually a pretty soft peak, but that's okay. So we have our frosting here. So we got our first cake here. We're gonna take a little bit of frosting and then frost that. Just a thin layer because it's a pretty rich frosting. Well, not really, but it's a pretty rich frosting. So and when you do this like at home, if you were gonna do this, you could add color, you could add like almond extract, but I really like the vanilla. It kind of gives it a sophisticated feeling. And then now, I'm just gonna put a little more on. Now we're gonna add the second cake right on top, just like that. So I have this on a Wilton brand cake spinner. So I'm just gonna go like this. Just have it, just get it smooth, like a nice like an 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch layer. So we're just gonna, like that's looking pretty good. And then if your cake tips, just put some more frosting on the side that it's tipping on, and then you'll be all good to go. So we just got our last cake here. So the last cake put on upside down, so my cake, I was being very careful. But last cake put upside down, so then you have that smooth edge on top, and it's not all the crumbs. So now we're just gonna put like frosting on top. We're just gonna take this out. Just like that. So this frosting sets up so quickly that you can't, this isn't the type of frosting that you can leave out. And you can't like make it the day before and then decorate with it. You have to like decorate with it right away. So I'm just going along. First of all, I'm filling in the cracks. Just like this. Just filling in the cracks. Just by moving my spatula up and down. Just filling in those cracks. So I'm just doing this. I guess grabbing some more frosting. See, you will get crumbs in your frosting, but it's not the end of the world, I promise you. You'll get crumbs in your frosting. That's just how it works. I don't think there's a way to avoid that unless you were like super OCD about it and you got like, you did a different like spatula for each time. But like really that's like a super waste and it's like annoying. So I'm just keeping going around here. Oh, here, I got some on the plate. It doesn't matter if you get any on the plate. That's totally okay. So I'm doing this on a Wilton cake board, but you can do it on a plate, you can do it on a cookie sheet. It doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna keep going around like this. And then you can see here that it's actually getting kind of bubbly and dry, and then it'll get harder to work with. So we don't want that. So we're just gonna go around and give it a thick layer now. Just a nice thick layer, just like this. Just a thick layer. Oh, whoopsies. Oh, I missed a spot. Oh no. Okay, so we've given that a nice thick layer. And make sure you have a bunch on the edges. So now, I'm just gonna put a little more on. So then, yeah, so it's like this. So this looks pretty good, right? So we have it like this, and then I'm just gonna get like this. And now's the fun part. So now I'm gonna take my spoon in just a second here. I'm gonna take a spoon, and I'm gonna dip it in some cold water here. Tap it off, and then just go like this. And you're making kind of, I don't know what to call them, like waves in your frosting. Or you can just simply pat it like this. And then you're just kind of like making, because we're going to blowtorch this. So if you have like a bunch of bumps, then it'll look really fun. And it'll be all cool looking when you blowtorch it. So I keep licking my fingers. The frosting is super good. It's like a vanilla meringue. It's amazing. So I'm just kind of patting the cake like this. I mean, you could also, if you want, you could just do it like this. You could just do like swirling motions with your spoon. And every once in a while, just dip your spoon in that cold water. And it'll just help it from the meringue not getting super, I don't know what to call it, like thick. That's the wrong word, but yeah. It'll help the meringue from not getting too thick. So we're just going like this all the way around. So it kind of looks like a porcupine. So now, you don't have to do this, but I've prepared an icing bag. So I'm just going to put some of this meringue frosting into the icing bag. So I've got a Wilton tip. It's a flower tip. It's from the It's the EV711. So I'm using this tip right here. So it's just like a nice kind of flowery tip. That'll just mostly be for fun. And it'll just add some extra sophistication to the cake. But, yeah. I don't know, it's lots of fun. Now we're just going to squeeze this to the bottom. And then here, I'll just do one on a plate so you can see what it looks like. Oh no, that doesn't work with this. Huh. See, it's just like these little flower kind of things, but because it's a really kind of gooey frosting, it won't give the same effect. I don't know if that makes sense, but like we could do like things like this. Oh, that looks adorable. Like just little puffs. But again, this is totally optional. I would almost recommend not doing this because your cake looks so good. And then you add these little puffs. It looks looks really fun. I don't know. It's totally for fun, and this is cake making is totally just like a fun sport that people do. Yeah, it's like, yeah, people love cake, and I love making cake, so I also love eating it, but it's mostly just to make it. I don't know. So I'm just gonna go with a paper bag and just kind of like this, but as while I'm squeezing some out. So you can also do with this frosting, you can also just do a smooth coat, but I think that looks totally completely boring, so I don't do smooth coats. So the last of the frosting here, it's getting pretty thick because it's setting. So this will go completely hardish, or not completely hard, that's a lie. It'll go harder. So I'm just gonna tap this. Oh geez. I'm just gonna keep tapping this, getting it all good to go. And ready and smooth. So I'm just gonna keep doing that, and then I'm gonna take my spoon again. Oh, you can do it like this too, like just down and up. Just like this. Or you can just pat it, but it's really nice to have those points when it sticks up like that. So that's kind of the consistency you want your meringue to be, that it'll stick up, but it won't, like, it's good that it's bending. That's what you want. You want it to bend over. You wouldn't want it to just be like that. So this is like a half semi-smooth meringue frosting. So we're just gonna leave that like that, and then I'll see you in a couple minutes. So it's really quite beautiful. I've just with a spoon, and it's quite cool. So you can see, and then, so now I'm gonna go get my blowtorch so then we can have some color. First of all, kids, do not try this at home. I'm a professional, and this is very dangerous. So I've got my blowtorch. So because this is a meringue, it will brown and it'll look really pretty when I blowtorch it. You can also do this in the oven. You can do it in the oven, and you'll get a much more even look, but they might catch on fire. This is way more fun though. So I'm just gonna turn my blowtorch on, and I've cleared everything within distance except the wall. So I'm gonna turn this on. So I'm just gonna go like this, and you can see that when I get near it, it starts to brown up, just like that. So I'm just going like this, super carefully, and then see if I go too close to it, then it'll burn. And I've had it catch on fire before, so that's not good. So I'm just gonna go along the whole cake, just blowtorching it, making it all pretty. Because you got to admit, it looks way prettier when it's blowtorched than when it's just white. So I'm just gonna go along, blowtorching it, making it brown. And then in some sections, you can just go along and do like, if you wanted to, like here, I'll just do an example over here. Like if you wanted to, you could just do like a super light thing and only do the edges, like this. Like just do like a super light thing. But then you can also do it like really dark and kind of, yeah. Cut. Cut. Toasting a little bit. What I'm doing now is I'm just toasting a little bit that got on the plate really carefully, just so like it looks nice. And so when you do that, when you toast it, so I think I'm pretty well done. But when you toast it, you get a really nice burnt marshmallow taste. That's like the taste that you get on the outside. And then on the inside, it's like a super creamy kind of creamy, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, if you've ever made marshmallows, that's kind of the texture of it. But you could also call it, or like a pavlova or something like that. So that's all the blow torching, I think, done. But look at that. It's perfect. So you could also do this flat coated, like completely smooth out the top and smooth out the sides. But I don't know. I think I like this way better personally. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good